Hello YouTube, my name is Ember and I am the owner and perfumer behind Hoshigato, and I have been making perfumery content for a while, like a couple years on TikTok, and I have decided to join YouTube and start posting on here. I'd like to kick this series off with a little video diary detailing my process for creating a perfume. And I've been going over this a lot on TikTok. We've done lives, we've done formula lookovers, and all of those things. And so I just wanted to continue that on YouTube. So we are working on a scent that is temporarily called Strawberry Milk Cake. And it's gonna smell like a strawberry milk cake. However, I have been trying something new with this perfume, and that is to have kind of a really nice ambery floral tie-in with the vanilla. Now, I have made several versions of this perfume already, and in this video, I kind of wanted to go over all of the changes that I've made thus far and why I made those changes. And yes, I write my formulas in a Hello Kitty notebook. Okay? It's fun. It's fun. You have to have a little bit of fun. So, as we can see with Strawberry Milk Cake number 1, I really didn't even finish this accord. I kind of just wanted to get like this cake vibe down before I started adding some more strawberry materials, which is what I did with Strawberry Milk Cake number 2. And as you can see, I made some notes over here with percentage changes, and then I said nah right there because I didn't like the aldehyde super. Made it smell too soapy. Moving on to Strawberry Milk Cake number 3, we have a much more fully formed strawberry cake accord. Although it's not complete, this is a kind of simple structure for where I want this perfume to go. We've got the simple cake accord, we've got the simple strawberry accord, and we've got a couple of other elements just to kind of make it a little bit softer, not super rich and like cloyingly sweet. Strawberry Milk Cake number 4 got ripped, so RIP. But the main changes that I made with this was adding sulfurol milky because I wanted to get that milk accord a little bit more intense, a little bit more realistic. I also added some geraniol and some benzyl acetate to kind of make the strawberry note less candy and a little bit more pleasant to wear. I also experimented with adding some hedione in there. Overall, hedione can make things pop, but it can also make things a lot more subtle and subdued. I've tried a couple times adding the hedione in there. No matter what dose, I just didn't like it, so we decided we're not going to go with the hedione. It made everything just a little bit too soft. You know, I want it to still be a cake perfume. I still want it to be gourmand. I still want it to be sweet and a little rich, but you know, with a nice balance. Moving on to Strawberry Milk Cake number 7. With this one, I think the main changes that I made were basically I added a little bit more fruity type materials because I wanted overall the strawberry note to be pretty apparent in the beginning at least. And I also added something like fruitate, which honestly made the strawberry a little bit more grounded, a little bit less candy-like. It just kind of blended it really well. And also added some Dorinia because I figured that specific rose accord, the Dorinia SA rose accord, would make it smell a little bit jammy but also kind of classy, you know, because we also have some geraniol up here. Geraniol exists naturally in a lot of fruits, and it just gives this kind of like irresistible, very nice, pleasant smelling fruit note when you add a little bit of certain florals, especially rose florals to a strawberry accord. It's really nice. And now for the latest iteration, Strawberry Milk Cake number 8 and 9, where I added some, you know, floral and lirol well, actually I had Furaneol part of the formula before, but I also added some Lerol just to kind of build up the base. And also I got this new chemical called cyclogalbanate, which you might have seen on my shorts. I tested, and it was extremely strong, aldehydic, but also kind of green and fruity. I tried using aldehyde C12 lauric as well, decided that that made things too soapy, decided I didn't like it, took it out of the formula, replaced it with just the cyclogalbanate. Let's see, what else did I do? I added some embretolide as well because I didn't have any in stock when I first started making this accord, and I also added a little bit of sandalwood. I also experimented with the ratios. You might have seen that I've changed up a little bit of the ratios, and I kind of like where it's at the moment. I like where we're going with it. I like the addition of the more floral elements to our little amber accord that we've made. Once again, we tried adding hedione. Once again, I didn't like it, didn't use it in number 9. And, let's see, what else did we do? I vastly increased the amount of aldehyde C16, so-called strawberry glycidate is what I normally call it. I went from, I tried with the 374, honestly, that was a mistake. I heavy-handed on the pipette a little bit. But then I brought it back down to 200, or 0.2 grams. I brought the Dorinia down to 0.015 grams, but then I bumped it back up to 0.03 grams. And I added the sandalwood because I experimented with sandalwood off paper, just added a tiny little bit of it just to see what it would do, not tracking the formula or anything, and I liked the smoothness and depth that it added to the base. Now, what do I think this needs? I kind of want to experiment with adding a little bit more limonene just for the opening, just to see if a bright opening is something that I like with this perfume, or if I want to keep it, you know, kind of fruity and deep and rich. I also want to experiment with adding a little bit more isobutylene, possibly. But I kind of want that creamy milk vibe. You know, the milk vibe in this perfume is very important to me. And adding more butyl lactate is probably just going to make the strawberry accord smell more sour and more syrupy than adding more of a milk note to the perfume. I really do like the methyl laitone though, and I regret not having more creamy type chemicals to work with at the moment. I wish I had, gosh, what's that called? I'll put it on the screen if I remember what. It's something that is also used in a lot of coconut, bicyclonolactate. Bicyclonolactate. I wish I had some of that. It does have kind of a coconutty feel to it, but so does methyl laitone. And if I had some of that with me right now, I could make it creamier, you know? But in terms of the base of this formula, which I had a little bit of trouble with because I see ambroxan, ambroxDL, all of those ambery materials as kind of sharp, and I wanted to smooth out the sharpness while maintaining the kind of classy skin hugging quality that amber has. And I think I did that with the combination of florals that I used, and also by adding a little bit of that sandalwood. Out of all of the things that I'm using in this formula, really the only brand new thing is the cyclogalbanate, which I might try to overdose just purely to see what it does, you know? Because when you get a new material, I think it's always a good idea to try to dose it as high as you possibly can, just to see where the cutoff point is, you know, how much can you put in there before it starts to fuck everything up in your formula, you know? And yeah, I think one of the best exercises you can do as a perfumer when you're working with these formulas is to start small, like I did with just the cake accord. Really adjust those levels up and down as much as you possibly can. Try to break your formula. That way you can find the sweet spot. You know, you can't find the sweet spot without doing a lot of tinkering and breaking and redoing and all of those things. And so, to the fellow perfumers or people who are interested in perfume, I have a question. Number one, if you are a fellow perfumer getting into perfumery, perhaps beginning, perhaps you've been doing this for a long time, what would you do if you were going to make a strawberry milk cake formula? Would you make it super ambery? Would you make it super floral? Would you make it realistic? What would you do? But yeah, this is what I've done with it. I'm pretty happy with it so far. I think it could be further broken. I think it could be further adjusted. But hopefully I'll have it for Valentine's Day.